You're watching Trap House Media. Trap House Media is a platform for content creators, news, and current topics, etc. We also share other people's content for educational purposes. Come on, like, share, comment, and subscribe to Trap House Media. It's your girl, Lucky Luciano.
I am God, even though I'm a man of God. My whole life in the hand of God. So y'all better quit playing with God. Soon as they.
This what's wrong with me. Yeah, man. About to go get this $1,000 out for the fans, man. Really, I'm gonna take out 20,000, man. Just to show people, you feel me? I'm on a whole different level with this, man.
Paradise, I was dead block when the powder came for that now sick in that shoebox. Blue tops, bad bitch in that blue box. This big face.
Kwame Wilson, aka Young QC, was born in Chicago. Now, when most people think about young black men growing up in the city of Chicago, they think of the gangs, they think of the violence, they think of the murders. But that wasn't the reality for QC, because his mom, a woman by the name of Yolanda Holmes, worked hard so he could have the type of life where he could avoid the streets and the gangs, because that's what took his dad away from him. The story goes, back in the 80s and early 90s, his dad was a heavy hitter in the streets of Chicago, and he was trying to charge a drug dealer tax on a crack house that he had in his territory, but the drug dealer refused to pay. So in retaliation, he burned down the crack house, but it was 2 people that died in that fire, and he was sentenced to life in prison. So he was never in QC's life, but his mom, she stepped up to the plate. She became an entrepreneur. She started her own beauty salon / barbershop that was very successful. She was known around the neighborhood for giving back to the kids. She would do like back to school drives for like school supplies and things like that. And she would always give to her only child. She would drape him in designer clothes, shoes, jewelry. She bought him a Mustang, anything that he wanted. A lot of people would say that he was spoiled, but like I said, that was her only son. And I can't help but to think that when most parents hold their child for the first time, the thoughts that run through their mind is how they gonna protect their child, how they never gonna let anything happen to their child, how they would give their own life for their child. But most parents don't have to think about their child being the reason that their life is taken away. But that's exactly what happened in the story of Young QC. He viewed himself as an entertainer, a rapper, and social media is where he performed. But you gotta have money to keep up that facade of living that big time lifestyle, that baller lifestyle. That rapper that got so much money, he don't even know what to do with it. And Young QC, he didn't have that. His mom had that because she worked for it. And even though she rarely ever told him no, spoiled him, gave him anything that he asked for pretty much, he felt like she wasn't giving enough anymore. And since she wasn't willing to give him what he wanted, he decided that he was just gonna take it, even if it meant taking a life of his own mom. Everything would be set into motion on September 2nd, 2012, when a man named Eugene Spencer broke into Yolanda Holmes' apartment, and while she was sleeping, he shot her multiple times. Now, her boyfriend was there, and him and Eugene got in a tussle, but Eugene was able to get the upper hand and knock him unconscious. And as he was walking out of the apartment, he called QC to let him know the job was done. But he said that QC told him to make sure that bitch is dead and he went back and stabbed his mom multiple times. The murder of Yolanda Holmes would shock the community because she was so beloved. She had no known enemies, and it just wasn't a reason for this to happen. And things would get even more weird at her funeral, where a lot of the family members said that QC was seen laughing and joking with friends, just kind of had a very casual demeanor. One of his cousins, a man by the name of Zion Banks, said that you would have never knew that his mom had just died. He just seemed so okay with everything. But QC, he was more than okay, because he could finally live out his dream of stunting uncontrollably on social media and living life as a superstar rapper. There was numerous Instagram posts of him buying designer clothes, customizing cars, giving money away, throwing money away. He liquidated all of his mom's bank accounts into $90,000. He also took out the life insurance settlement of $300,000. Anywhere there was a camera, QC was there to perform. He was spotted at Chicago Stop the Violence rallies after killing his own mom, and he was interviewed by local news about what happened to his mom and the violence that was going on in Chicago.
Kwame Wilson lost his mother to gun violence on November 14th.
My mother, she was a neighborhood woman. A guy entered her home, and murdered her, just to steal.
Wow, man. I can't believe this dude. And I try not to make these stories personal, but this one of them ones, man. This dude is a straight up clown. He changed his social media to have him listed as a rapper, actor, and for some reason, a dancer. On YouTube, he tried to start his own little TV show called Nick's Story, a family drama where he talked pretty openly about what he had did in real life to his own mom.
You think you're good enough to sit in that seat? Let me tell you what I did to get that seat, Miss Stone. I killed niggas. Innocent females. I did what I had to do, Miss Stone.
That social media clout, it's a drug. I'm telling y'all. And young QC, he was a full-blown addict. But that lust for living a fast life, the luxurious life, that high-end life, it was about to come to an abrupt end, because on December 24th, 2013, QC was arrested for the murder of his own mom. It wasn't hard to put together. Soon as she passed away, he liquidates all of her accounts, spends the majority of her money, and on top of that, they had the hitman too, Eugene Spencer, and he was gonna testify against QC. He was supposed to receive $3,500 for doing his hit, but he got $70. They also caught the getaway driver, a woman by the name of Lorianna Johnson. And on January 31st, 2020, QC was sentenced to 99 years in prison. The hitman, Eugene Spencer, he was sentenced to 100 years in prison. And Lorianna Johnson received 14 years. When the judge asked QC, was it anything that he wanted to say, he stood up and addressed the court by saying this: "I just want to say nobody loved my mother more than me. She was all I had. That's it." Man, I can't believe this dude. This story really gets to me, and it's very sad, very tragic. Yolanda Holmes, his mom, she did not deserve that. And she was only 45 years old when her son decided to take her life. Rest in peace, Queen.